Kevin McHale last night went to a Trump rally in Duluth, Minnesota, which is near where he was born and raised, and I believe it's upstate Minnesota. The radio show is on in Duluth. I think we do really well there on the radio. I appreciate everybody in Duluth who listens. 9,000 people showed up. A picture went out on the internet of the crowd at the Donald Trump rally. Somebody decided to zoom into the crowd at the Donald Trump rally, and what did they see but a man who looked like Kevin McHale? Why somebody decides to zoom in to the picture of a crowd at a Donald Trump rally, I cannot tell you. It seems strange to me. Unless you are actually a member of the crowd and you want to see your own picture, I don't know why you zoom in at the crowd, or unless it's filled with a huge sea of incredibly good-looking women and you're like, oh, there's a lot of cheerleaders there and you want to zoom in on them. I don't know why anybody zooms in on a crowd of a bunch of people at a Duluth, Minnesota Donald Trump rally, but somebody did. They shared this picture. They said, look, oh my God, this is problematic. Kevin McHale is at the rally. First of all, I don't understand why it's remotely problematic that a guy is in his hometown going to watch the president. Let's start there. I have seen the president 3 times when he was in office. Once when I was a little kid, Ronald Reagan's motorcade passed me at Epcot. It was one of the most cool, amazing experiences of my life. I'm already at Disney World. I'm on the rope line at Epcot, and there goes Ronald Reagan in the presidential limo. One of the coolest things I've ever seen. I was 5 years old, okay? Secondly, I saw both Bill Clinton and George W. Bush go by in their motorcade while I was a student at George Washington University in college. I have never met the president of any party. I have never shaken their hand. But I think it's a pretty cool thing as an American to go to an event where the president is and get to see him, right? I mean, if Hillary Clinton had been elected president and I had gotten to go see Hillary Clinton as president, I would have thought it was pretty awesome. So just because you attend a political rally does not mean that you are a fervent, diehard supporter of the person that you go to the rally for. You might be just doing your due diligence as a citizen and wanting to go see the president speak in person to see whether or not you believe in their policies. This would be easy to do. This makes a lot of sense. But everything fell apart from there. What is amazing about this is this all happened overnight. I was in bed. I try to be in bed by around 10:30 every night because I wake up at about 4:15 every day. 4:15 a.m., my alarm goes off. I get out of bed. And so I like to be ready the night before. I didn't see any of this happening. I get to my radio studio. I pull out my phone. I start scrolling through. I check to see what's trending and what trended overnight. Kevin McHale. And I'm like, did Kevin McHale die? What in the world happened to Kevin McHale that he's trending? I better find out what's going on. And I'm like, this must be a big story if he's the number 2 trending topic in America. Do you know what he did? He went to a Donald Trump rally. And then all of these are all people who have verified blue check marks, were demanding that he be fired. This is just a sampling of them. From Free Darko, who makes a living writing and talking about the NBA. Kevin McHale is extremely stupid for attending a public Trump event. This is what he tweeted. That, as much as his politics, is why he should never work in the NBA again. The guy went to see a rally featuring the current president of the United States, and the left-wing sports media members are saying this is extremely stupid of him to do, and he should never work in the NBA again. He should lose his job calling games for TNT. He should never be able to be a head coach in the NBA again. This is one of the most influential NBA guys, has written a book on the NBA before, I believe. All right, that was not bad enough. Mason Ginsberg, who writes for ESPN. Kevin McHale, breaking. Kevin McHale accepts head coaching gig in WNBA only to quickly renege once he realized that it did not stand for White Nationalist Basketball Association. Because you see, everybody who ever goes to see Donald Trump speak is a huge racist. That's the joke there. Oh, he's a huge racist because like half the country he voted for Donald Trump. And then Howard Bryant, who was accused of beating up his wife and later took 6 months probation rather than go to trial. He works at ESPN, by the way. Kevin McHale is just a poor white man from a forgotten deep South town suffering from economic anxiety. That explains it. I think maybe that's supposed to be satire. I don't know. I don't even know what he's attempting to say. He's not a very smart man, and he made a bad tweet. Continuing. Kelly Scaletta, who writes for Bleacher Report and covers the NBA. Trump is a flaming racist. Anyone who doesn't think he's a racist is a racist because they agree with his racism so deeply they can't see he's a racist. Whoa, is your mind spinning yet? This guy also came completely unhinged on Twitter. Yahoo has an article up on the front page of their site, Yahoo Sports, where they accuse me of dog whistling for the article that I wrote today, which said, hey, you can go see the president in a rally and not need to get fired. I don't even know what dog whistling means anymore. Evidently, it's just a synonym for use common sense and spread it on social media. Mike Jollett writes, Hall of Fame Celtic Kevin McHale and his wife attend a Trump rally. You're an analyst in a sport that is 75% black. You literally make money off the hard work of black athletes. Is this real? If so, he's going to have a rough week. So I don't understand this. Does this mean that if you have political opinions that differ from your coworkers or people that you work with, that you're not allowed to share your political opinions because they might differ with somebody else's? There's something called the marketplace of ideas. This doesn't make any sense at all. So if somebody who's really liberal works at a place filled with conservatives, they should never say anything because then they're going to have to worry about whether they're going to be able to have jobs or not. Jen Statsky wasn't content with outing Kevin McHale. She thought it was important. She's a Parks and Recs writer to say, Gordon Hayward's Instagram follows make me think he could be all caps, our generation's Kevin McHale. What did Gordon Hayward have the temerity to do? He followed Fox News and Candace Owens on Instagram. I follow all sorts of people that I don't necessarily agree with on a day-to-day basis, and I got to tell you, this is pretty unbelievable. So this is the direction that the sports media took it. What is amazing about this is the same left-wing sports media that has been screaming for 3 years that Colin Kaepernick deserves the right to take a knee during the national anthem in his uniform at work on the football field. So is their simple pea brain not capable of comprehending the insane hypocrisy that they have unleashed here? Because what they are arguing is that Kevin McHale deserves censure and potentially removal from his job or the inability to continue to work in any league or any job associated with the NBA, because in his private life, when he was not working, he went to a rally starring the President of the United States. So think about what their simple pea brain is arguing here. They are arguing that it's okay at work in your uniform while on the field to disrespect the national anthem because your First Amendment rights are so sacrosanct that they don't even have to include the fact that you're doing this at work. But they simultaneously will not support the First Amendment rights of a conservative, potentially, maybe even not, Kevin McHale, when he's not working to go to a rally outside of work hours in his own private life. Do they then believe that Kevin McHale has the right to vote? Because essentially what they're saying is you have no right to make a public statement about any political beliefs that you hold. This is where we are as a country, in particular in sports media, where everybody is looking for the lamest reason to criticize someone for saying anything remotely positive about Donald Trump. Now, I want you to contemplate this too. The NBA is populated by coaches such as Greg Popovich and Steve Kerr, who have used their platforms to aggressively attack Donald Trump at every opportunity in front of NBA media that is there to cover their league. They have shown up there and they have decided that they are going to criticize Donald Trump with a huge selection of media members there. Players have done the same thing. LeBron James even appeared on stage at a Hillary Clinton rally in Ohio and endorsed her for president. It doesn't matter because she still ended up getting her ass kicked up and down the state by Donald Trump. But this is an important statement. I didn't see a single person who was conservative or had conservative political beliefs saying that Steve Kerr and Greg Popovich and LeBron James didn't deserve to keep their jobs because of their political opinions. No one argued that. Now, people might have said, hey, I don't think they're very smart. Or they might have said to LeBron James, shut up and dribble. Or they might have said to Greg Popovich, shut up and coach. But that's arguing with their political opinions, which is an important distinction that's different, people, from arguing that they don't deserve to still be employed, which tons of left-wing liberal sports media went out and argued the minute that Kevin McHale showed up at the Trump rally. Furthermore, there's inevitably people out there who don't have very functional brains and they aren't very good at distinguishing facts who will come out and say, well, what about Colin Kaepernick? And I already pointed out the absurdity of this, but Colin Kaepernick is welcome to make whatever political statement he wants any time of day except while he's on the football field in uniform at work. When you are in uniform at work, you do not get the right, typically, to advocate for your political beliefs, and you certainly don't get that right during the national anthem. This is not complicated. I've been making this argument for a long time. When you are at uniform at work, you work. If you want to put a yard sign in front of your house supporting a political candidate, you can do it. If you want to put that yard sign in the back of your truck and drive it to work and drive it into the ground in front of your employer and you keep doing it, you will get fired. If you want to put a bumper sticker on your car and you drive a vehicle for FedEx, you can put a bumper sticker on your private vehicle. But the moment that you arrive at work and make the decision to take a bumper sticker and put it on your FedEx vehicle, you will get fired. If you are a police officer, you can wear a Make America Great Again hat when you're not working as a police officer. When you are working as a police officer, if you pull someone over wearing a Make America Great Again hat, you will get fired. Kevin McHale was a private citizen, not at work. It's not even the NBA season right now. It's the NBA offseason, and people, the same people who were arguing that Colin Kaepernick had a right to First Amendment speech are now arguing that Kevin McHale deserves to be penalized for his speech. And the same people are also trying to argue, if they're bird-brained, to me, oh, what about Colin Kaepernick? My position is straightforward. Do your political work outside of your work hours. Nobody's telling Colin Kaepernick he can't advocate for whatever cause he wants. Just don't do it during the national anthem in your uniform at work. I don't know why that's complicated. Nobody has said that LeBron James needs to be kicked out of the league, or Steph Curry, or any of the other countless NBA players who felt the need to weigh in on Donald Trump. Nobody has said that Greg Popovich and Steve Kerr don't deserve to continue to be coaches. Yet what they have done is so much more egregious. Remember, LeBron James was on the stage with Hillary Clinton in a rally in Ohio. Kevin McHale was just in the crowd. He didn't even say anything. Somebody just saw his picture in that crowd and decided to ridicule him. And they decided to attack his wife, who's not even a public figure. And they're like, oh, I didn't like the tweets that this woman sent. She's a random woman in Minnesota sharing her political opinions. Like, she's not famous. When I wrote my article, I specifically did not take the tweets from random people. I said, if I'm going to share a tweet and an opinion, it has to be from somebody with a blue check mark that Twitter has determined is worthy of paying attention. Here's the other big thing. We're talking about Kevin McHale's political beliefs. Does anybody care? Do you care if Bryant Big Country Reeves is a Bernie bro? Do you care if Greg Ostertag walks around in a vagina hat all day long because he loves Hillary Clinton? We're talking about a big, goofy white dude who is not even playing the sport now. Who cares what Kevin McHale's political beliefs are? He's the #2 trending subject in America this morning when I woke up. More people were tweeting about Kevin McHale than the NBA draft, which is happening today. This is how broken our national discourse has become. People come after me all the time on social media, but I take the slings and arrows. Do you know why? Because ultimately I believe in the First Amendment. And I have a crazy idea, and this is a big part of my book, Republicans Buy Sneakers Too, which you should buy and is out in September, and I guarantee you're going to love it. If we are in the business now of policing every single person's every statement to determine whether it's appropriate or inappropriate politically, and then demanding that people get fired based on what they are tweeting in their private hours or Facebooking in their private hours when they're not at work, we have fundamentally broken as a society, because what it leads to is people not being able to share their actual opinions. And people say, how did Donald Trump win? Because Donald Trump is not the perfect vehicle for it, but because many people out there feel like they can't say what they actually think because they're afraid of getting fired. And when people are afraid of getting fired from their job because they can't share their political opinions, then as a result, our national discourse becomes stultified, it becomes artificial, it becomes inconsistent, and it becomes inaccurate. And then what happens? The situation is ripe for a disruptor such as Donald Trump to show up and entirely disrupt the entire American political process. Because people who support Donald Trump don't necessarily agree with everything that Donald Trump does. They certainly don't agree with everything that Donald Trump tweets, but they believe that our fundamental national political discourse is so broken that the only thing that can save it is somebody who's going to completely break it into smithereens. And that is why Donald Trump won. And so what is the most ironic thing about all of this is that the resistance doesn't understand that they are making it more likely that Donald Trump is going to win in 2020. When you compare Donald Trump to Adolf Hitler, you convince everybody who likes who likes Donald Trump just a little bit that the left wing has gone batshit crazy. And so as a result, they are going to support Donald Trump. Moderate, middle of the road voters, the kind of people who won him Ohio, who won him Pennsylvania, who won him Wisconsin, who won him Michigan, and who nearly won him Minnesota, all those Big Ten states, they make the decision to flip from Barack Obama to Donald Trump, and they make the decision in the election. Now, everybody out there makes it convenient. Oh, everybody's racist who supports Trump. It seems unlikely to me, not an expert, seems unlikely to me that someone who voted for Barack Obama, a black man, to be president in 2012 would then decide, I'm suddenly going to become racist and vote for Donald Trump. No, they did it because they believe the system is fundamentally broken and that the system is not allowing them to say what they actually believe in the larger national discourse. And what is happening is the far left wing is becoming more totalitarian than even the most fervent of Donald Trump supporters. Because again, I dare you to find me someone with a blue check mark beside their name who supports Donald Trump or Republicans in general who said that LeBron James should lose his job because he was on the stage with Hillary Clinton. I dare you to find me somebody who said after Greg Popovich and Steve Kerr ripped Donald Trump to smithereens in their opinion of him, these guys don't deserve to be coaches in the NBA. Yet I found dozens of people with check marks beside their name ripping Kevin McHale and questioning why he was employed by TNT and how he was permitted to have the opinion about Donald Trump that he did when you don't know his opinion at all. And they said he deserved to be fired or ostracized from the NBA. Here's something else. He was there with his wife. How many of you have been dragged to an event that you didn't necessarily want to go to because your wife asked you to go. I can tell you, you could have seen me at dozens of events over the years that I had no interest in whatsoever because I went with my wife. Somebody just said, my wedding. A lot of guys out there go to their wedding and they don't really have any interest in being there. You'd rather elope. There are a lot of us out there, guys, also a lot of women who are watching this. You go to events because your spouse is there or because your kids are there. I can't tell you the number of times I've been to events. My wife used to coach high school girls dance, like the dance team stuff. I went to one of those events and I was like, my God, this is the most uncomfortable thing I've ever been to. Somebody could have taken my picture there and been like, look at Clay Travis, huge fan of high school girl dance competitions. No, I was there because I went to support my wife. I had no idea what was going on. Girls are getting sprayed in glitter. There's 12-year-old girls in spandex everywhere. It's the most uncomfortable scene I've ever seen. If you're a dad and you're one of these girls on the dance squads, they all get glossed up. They're all putting makeup on each other. I was a guy without kids yet. I'm sitting there like, I don't even feel comfortable being here. I don't, like I saw all these dads and I'm like, how do you guys come here? And they're like, we don't like it. It's really uncomfortable. But if somebody got on Twitter and took a picture of the crowd, I'd be there and they'd be, look at Clay Travis, big fan of high school dance competitions. There he is right there. Let's zoom in on him. Oh, look at him. He's there. Kevin McHale might have gone to that rally with his wife for the same reason that a ton of us go do things with our wives on a regular basis. So she'd sleep with him. Kevin McHale might well have been there because he's like us. He's been married a bunch of years. He's like, if I go to this political rally with my wife, she's going to have a couple of drinks later. We're going to come back home. She's going to be all riled up and excited from the rally, and she's going to sleep with me. Boom, I'm going to the rally. He might have no interest in politics at all. I can't tell you every single married guy who will watch this clip, who will watch this at all, has done something entirely so his wife will sleep with him. Might be go to a restaurant. Might be go to a Broadway play. Might be go to a musical. Might be go to any number of events. So why does everybody assume that just because Kevin McHale was there, that he's some kind of hardcore right-wing ideologue? I don't know. I'm sure there's lots of people at Donald Trump's rally who were there for the same reason that men have been doing things since time immemorial. For the pussy. I'm just telling you. We don't know anything about that. He wasn't on the stage. He didn't say anything. We don't know anything about Kevin McHale's political leanings. All we know is the picture went up on the internet and he was in it. And I'm telling you right now, there's a picture probably out there of a crowd of girls at the 2008 dance team national championships. And I'm sitting there in the crowd like I'm at, Ali, like I'm at the battle at the Thrilla in Manila or whatever. Like I'm there, just geared up, sitting there, like, oh man, this is amazing. People be like, look at Clay Travis. Look at that creep Clay Travis, huge high school girl dance team champion fan. No, I was there so my wife would be more likely to sleep with me. That's all I got to say about it. Got to tell you. Here's the other thing. Where is Kevin McHale allowed? Let's say that's not true. Let's say he's a huge member of the Trump train. Where's it permissible for Kevin McHale to endorse Donald Trump? If he can't go to a rally and watch him, if he can't say it on Twitter, if he can't go on television and say it, where can he say it? Is he allowed to say it after he exits the voting booth? Is he allowed to say it in a restaurant? Because somebody might have a video and they might catch him talking about how he likes Trump, and then that could go viral. We're in a modern day McCarthyism. And the people who hate Donald Trump the most are actually the real fascists. They're the ones who are out there making the illogical and absurd proposition that you can't go see the President of the United States if you are a member of the sports universe. This just drives me actually insane. And I feel like a lot of people agree with me, even in my industry, but they are all so afraid of being the target of the mob that they won't share their actual opinions. And this matters to me Because as I'm writing all throughout my book, if you believe in the First Amendment, what matters the most in the First Amendment is a marketplace of ideas. That two people with ideas duke it out, and the person who has the best arguments wins. If one side is not able to make an argument because the media is slanted against them or because they're afraid of losing their job, then what you end up with is a one-sided argument. And if enough people become angry about that one-sided argument, what you create is a disruptor, and then you create Donald Trump, President of the United States. The fact that people on the left wing can't see this is frustrating to me because I understand if you want to beat Donald Trump. But the way you beat Donald Trump is not by looking at pictures on the internet and trying to find people that you can humiliate for being associated with Donald Trump. Because all that does is make the people who love Donald Trump believe his arguments even more, that they are being discriminated against, that they are deplorables, that no one else respects them, and that's why they respect Donald Trump so much. If you like this video, we're now up on YouTube. You can go subscribe there. These videos will be up forever. But the way we have grown and why the Outkick Army and people who support me has gotten so substantial is because I feel like there are a lot of people who agree with me. If I'm asking you a favor here, I think I've done a good job of making a case in a larger stratosphere about why this Kevin McHale story is such a metaphor for what we're going through in the world of sports and media right now. If you like this video on Facebook, if you like this video on Twitter, I'm going to ask you to do something. Share it with several of your friends that you think also would enjoy it. There's not very many people speaking out like me. There aren't very many people who are going to write a book like Republicans Buy Sneakers Too. But there are a lot of people who agree with me. And I feel like I have the ability to say what many people do not feel like they have the ability to say at their jobs. I am self-employed. I am able to make a good living doing what I do. I don't have to worry about the consequences for my speech. I understand that many of you do. But I think I have made a good and cogent argument here that many people, in fact, the majority of Americans would agree with. If you enjoy these shows, the best thing you can do is share this and allow our movement to grow. Because I will tell you this. What I notice now is that people like the guy who was complaining, many of the people who complained about this that I retweeted, they blocked me. And the irony is they're probably the same people who were saying of Donald Trump, oh my God, he blocks all his critics. If the marketplace of ideas is going to work, then people have to feel comfortable sharing ideas like mine. And the way you can make a difference is you can share these shows and you can make a difference with us. I don't think it's a testament to how far left-wing much of the media is that a guy who's very middle of the road and worked on Al Gore's presidential campaign can end up being the voice of sanity and reason and the voice of a moderate and radical majority. My name is Clay Travis. Messi and Argentina are in trouble. I'll talk about that tomorrow morning on the radio show. I've gone on for a long time here just talking about this single subject. DBAP, boys and girls. My name is Clay Travis. If you don't know what DBAP means, it's my lifestyle credo. It's don't be a pussy. And so I appreciate all of you. Thank you. Share the videos. God bless Kevin McHale. And I said this in my article, and I want to reiterate it here as I say goodbye. The next time Donald Trump comes to Nashville or near me, I'm going to go to his rally. I'm going to be there. I hope somebody takes my picture. Not because I agree with everything that he says, but just because I'm not a pussy and I'm not afraid. And I want to respect whoever the president is by supporting him to the best of my ability. So I am Clay Travis. This has been Outkick the Show. Thank you for watching. I'll be live tomorrow, 6 to 9 a.m. Eastern on Fox Sports Radio, 300 a.m. FM stations nationwide, all 50 states, as well as satellite radio. Books coming out this September. DBAP, boys and girls. This has been Outkick the Show.